teams may not actually have the chance to be in Jakarta by February, but they could have a chance to play spoilers this time.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder if any of these big fights will erupt, and we're already seeing a blue zone drop coming from both Axis as well as Farang. I guess it's a classic civil war coming in from our homeboys of Malaysia.
I just want to say that first raiders are also very dangerously close to BGM. So this is gonna be a big early game in the first 5 minutes. Farang though, Jembao hit a double spray down. That's what you want.
And they line it all up. Jembao, he's got the freest spray of his lifetime.
Yeah, basically just, and also the glue wall acting as a funnel. Axis Esports, not sure if they can get out of this though. Raph has spotted out this member number 3 from Axis. Raph looking to buy his team back, but there's no resources. Not this early on. Axis able to get Neptune out of this compound, get him out of quarry, keep Axis in the game.
Yeah, he's just stuck by the warehouses, and Spade's just gonna come in with a huge flank of a wraparound. Like, who even does that on this corner of an uncharted territory? Now he gets a little bit of elevation. Raph does manage to run right in. A little bit more safety net while Bryant tries to close things up. So, as much as it's high tier loots here in the blue zone, like, quarry is a really small area, so you see them really snuck into a couple of quarters, and you now have Vantan of VGM butting in. Whether or not can he find a catch onto 2-bat remains to be a question. They do get spotted out though. Vantan tries to hold his own.
This is going to be important for Farang. If they can hold back VGM, it will be a great start by Raph. He actually found Bryant. Bryant tried to push him and he went down. Farang's formation falling apart a bit. Jembao also getting pressured. The members of VGM really taking this slow and methodical and keeping Farang beyond an arm's reach. Vantan challenging Jembao up close. His helmet is showing a bit. Jembao only has a forklift to hide behind. And VGM slowly trying to swarm Farang in their own compound.
And this construction site here is not really giving them too much of room to breathe. Vantan finally gets the pick with the jump shots, and he will be able to secure one against members of Farang overall. Bond now close quarter combat. He's going to be able to pull up against the rest of them. VGM only having Bingsu bleeding out, but they've been able to steer away from all the danger. And Axis still has Raph surviving by the edge of it, so this is rather interesting to see Spade also running towards that direction, but not getting caught out by 66 Raph. Well, 666 Raph, just to be specific.
This is a good start for VGM overall. 3 points to boot. 2 points, in fact. Kind of the third party. And not only they pulled away from first raiders, but they also got a decent start. Now the revives will come in. While that was happening, first raiders moved away from Mount Bulwark. They're going to go onto that mainland and take over a fishing hut. Definitely a slower and less proactive approach from first raiders and kind of gearing up for that late game.
I was about to get to that as well, where we see VGM understanding that there's many of these players on that blue zone, and therefore they are the ones being proactive. They are the ones hunting out. And just look at how many more points can they possibly get here. Bingsu going up close and personal. Just one more shot that takes for Raph to take one of them out, but looks like he does get himself a little bit more safety net, but he's just being cornered up with nowhere to go. Finally, they axe him out.
Finally sniffing Raph out, but he has bought a lot of time. VGM getting point number 3. Basically clearing out the entire area, and it's not over just yet because they're heading down towards Mount Villa, and guess what? That's where Axis members are.
Yeah.
So they might get even more points. And this would really cement their spot in that top 6, in that 6th place in fact. Unless Space somehow catches VGM members from behind.
And we just love this smart gameplay coming from VGM. Going not to drop directly on that blue zone. They were the ones looting from the outskirts to close in. And it seems like they know how to approach the situation. They're even setting up this white flank from Vantan. And if he does get that catch, instead, he was the one being spotted out first. So now he's in a little bit of danger, but the rest of VGM should be able to catch up as well.
They need to flush out VGM. Axis starting it off on a good note. Going to get Vantan out of the way, so VGM see if they want to continue pushing in. It seems like that's still the case. They are splitting up different direction. Binsu on one side, Ban on the other, Darklop on that high ground, tanking that blue zone just a bit, but it's phase number 1, so VGM feeling comfortable to kind of stay outside just for a bit, but they definitely have no intention to continue this fight. Keeping it safe, keeping it slow, making sure that they stay alive for as long as possible.
Yeah, so long as they can still get a little bit more of a ground to zone off the rest of Axis Esports, they will remain to do so. All they need here is for Bingsu to hold his own for the time being. Axis, they do have vehicles though, so they don't really have to rely on the rope.
Uh-oh.
Looks like it busted a tire or something.
He ran into a tree. Oh, Ban, what?
What on earth was that shot, Ban? Just nailing every single shot. And just like that, Axis Esports eventually loses one more.
Yeah, that's the 4th point for VGM. While they bring Raph back, firepower definitely diminishing a bit though. I'm surprised that Axis didn't really find the rest of VGM members. Surely they know the Dark Loop is there. You can hear the footsteps. But Axis, they don't really feel confident enough to kind of challenge VGM and take them out. And this is giving VGM so much space.
As much as they do have a lot of space, just look at the areas where they need to be playing at. Campsite is quite a distance away. They have to cut through either side of the bridge, and it's not going to be all too safe by the moment that they try to cut across. And Axis, if they do have a little bit more advantage, they will just storm them through, just like how they are doing right now. Stopping Bingsu, snitching up from the corner of the tree, and so long as they get past this section, they should be able to be the ones that gatekeep V-Gaming instead.
That would be great. Not for Axis, but for First Raiders. There is the revival point on golf course, and VGM are completely cut off from it as well. So this is really a very bad spot for VGM as a team. There is a buy point though. You should have enough coins to at least get 1 revive to keep this going.
And we're also taking a look at the current position. Axis Esports, they're also trying to cut off the bridge for them to cut across to Central. So I feel like this over-aggression, that commitment coming in from V-Gaming, costed them a lot more than what they could basically afford to. But we see Ban, he finally gets into a revive station. He brings one back.
Yeah, Binsu comes back, but he's going to drop into a literal hot zone where MDH is residing. So he might just go down again. And because it's a buy point, VGM might not have any resources to work with afterwards. First Raiders still keeping it slow and safe. They're hugging the edge of the circle, but this might be one of those rounds where it actually works out for them.
Speaking of which, we have another party going on. It's heavy with this hill battle that they're taking. And, nope, that's not the perfect time to make the jump. And now with Minal down, it's also going to be a tree versus tree as Fakery continues on to pummel down all these shotgun shells, and he's hunting out for Heavy. And the time turner being popped up in time. Fakery now goes ring around to Rosie, while Heavy tries to juke him off, but still cannot connect the shots perfectly in time. He does have enough time to heal up. Fakery goes in for another challenge, but he is being wrapped with 2 glue walls, so he's stuck around the corner, and he's still making a move. Sem9. They're pretty low, but they're not down and out, so Heavy, they're slowly losing this war of attrition.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo, again, last man standing against the entirety of Sem9. He just cannot shake Fakery off. Heavy goes down without getting a single point for themselves, I believe.
Man, it's like a Rottweiler on the loose, but it definitely took a while for him to get the bites going. So, finally, Sem9. Perfect clearance. They got themselves those 4 points. Now, the entire sector is clear for Sem9 to march up ahead. Meanwhile, Axis is still looking around the central areas to play. They find themselves Anxiety as they are trying to get more of those revives out. Unlucky for Anxiety, they were caught once again.
Yeah, VGM able to take control of the revival spot at the golf course because Axis rotated early. They brought their members back, so VGM still staying very much alive. But now they have to funnel through a literal war zone to get into the circle. First Raiders has a good chance to stop them.
And we see them going on this 2-2 split as well. 2 on the outskirts of the river, while we have another 2 members by the spine of the Brasilia Hill. this is looking pretty daunting, especially with Sem9 slowly moving in towards the north point of the rim of the circle. And then you have a majority of all these teams just by the edges of it as well. So we expect a little bit more retaliation to come into effect. But by the bridges, though, FR has been hanging around for the longest of time, still not getting anything done just yet.
Axis Esports have been spotted out by Team Flash. And it feels like the only way for Axis to get across is to start swimming, but Team Flash, they are going to start taking control of the bridge. So this is bad news for Team Flash. VGM able to rendezvous with one another as Farang tries to push them.
Oh.
Can VGM hold on? This is going to be crucial.
It's important, though.
It's the most important fight for them. Axis gets wiped out by First Raiders.
Wow, Dark Lord. He's just got like, what, a quadra kill? And all that with the AWM in hand. It's just magnificent long-range snipes coming out of that gentleman. But of course, we focus back onto this battle just by the corners of Brasilia. Looks like Farang opts to take a different standpoint here, while VGM, they push up the hill, and now needing to deal with Sem9.
VGM's just the tenacity, the willpower to not go down, keeping them in the game. First Raiders, though, putting themselves out in the open. Farang is behind them, so First Raiders need to be really careful about this. They have given away their compound in order to go aggressive to take down Team Flash, so they need to make this work out. So far, they've gotten decent values, but unfortunately, their knockdowns were stolen away by MDH. So, I mean, First Raiders is not going to be happy about that one.
My, oh my. MDH slowly accumulating all these corners, and they do get a perfect access through the hills on the south end, and there's absolutely no challenge at all. If FR comes close, they will also be met with another member of Team Flash, who is still stuck by the corner of the bridge, as they are just putting bullets all across the river, and the KOG does find Newbie. And while Expand continues on with their trace of attacks, find a couple members of KOG, and Sem9, they bow early this time around.
And I wonder how would First Raiders deal with this, though. They're out in the open, and there are two teams watching them. And while that was happening, VGM, they're going to start pushing into Dewa as well. So if Dewa goes down, VGM will have a pretty clear entry into that blue zone, into that circle. It's going to be good news for V Gaming. KOG with the two members doubling up. Oscar and Osaka trying to stay alive, go for the long wraparound just to avoid Expand. Meanwhile, Dewa getting slowly wiped out with only Virus left alive. VGM is going to get this clearance for sure. That one goes down, but Devil United bows out. VGM, 8 points.
This is the lead that they desired and they absolutely needed in order to stay afloat and get their tickets booked for Jakarta. Farang still finding their way out, and FR, they're still having 4 members strong. They call the first one to be tagged out, but they still have members to be able to get him back on track. VGM trying to deal with the rest of the situation against Farang, and Expand still pouring up the rest of KOG. Now leave 6 more teams up ahead, and VGM absolutely overwhelms Farang Esports.
Even if VGM goes down right now, they've gotten enough points, and Farang ends up going down to MDH. This is crunch time. First Raiders, they've gotten themselves into a safe spot, but they got to deal with MDH. And the remnants of Team Flash, can First Raiders keep this alive though? They got 6 points, eliminated Team Flash. V Gaming goes out, and now it's First Raiders against MDH. First Raiders have a chance to extend that lead. MDH tries to rush them down, but First Raiders, they are going to hold the fort, at least for now. Can Happy save this one? It's a 1 versus 2 affair, but Happy forced to barricade himself with the glue walls, and First Raiders, they are just waiting for the right moment to just overwhelm Happy. They're just gonna blow through these glue walls. They even somehow sneak 1 member in. Happy, can you land those shots? This is just, yeah, Happy gets 1 down and surrenders himself to the blue zone. But now he's down to First Raiders and Expand, the 2 teams who has been performing admirably in the final circle.
And now there's a chance for FR to redeem themselves as well. If they do ace out the entirety of Expand, they have a shot at V Gaming. But with Expand's ferocity, they're just getting overwhelmed, and they're being cornered up as well. They're just battling outside. They don't care about the safety. And Expand, once again, secures another booyah for Malaysia.
If you're in for a hat trick and you missed the World Cup finals, Expand delivers the 3rd one of the night. What a performance from the team